Hi, I'm Brooke.
I'm Hope.
And I'm Megan.
And this is the Bookish and Bubbly Podcast.
Woo! Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bookish and Bubbly Podcast. I'm Hope.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Brooke.
And we're back again for the second installment of the Fourth Wing series, talking about Iron Flame. Okay, so we're going to change things up a little bit. Brooke, we're bringing back the 1 minute summary, and you are on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We start in Orisha over biscuits. I can't do this.
You got it. Too many details already.
I haven't started the timer yet. Yeah, way too many details. And go.
Okay, again, Brennan is alive. She finds out her brother is alive. They have to go back to Basgiath, and you know what? They're all targeted. They're going to be all assassinated. And they get a new vice commandant, Mr. Varish, Professor Varish or whatever, and he is definitely out to get her. He's trying to kill her. So are all these people that Dane Atos' dad is sending to kill her. I don't remember. She has to go see Xaden. I can't do it with the time restraint.
There's the back and
There's
forth.
no time restraint. Come on, keep going. You were doing great.
Okay.
You said she has to go
Xaden
back.
is continually, getting weapons to the Griffin Riders. They keep visiting each other because their dragons are mated.
Yeah. And they're acting like nothing happened back at Basgiath.
Yes, as always.
They're playing it cool.
As always. I don't remember what happens in this story.
And then she got tortured.
She got tortured bad. Yes, because again, Varish is out to get her. She also, with the help of her squad mates, they steal the journals of some of the first 6 in order to raise the ward stones around Orisha. That's the whole end goal here. But then she gets caught and tortured, and then they save her because they were about to kill her. Xaden comes and saves her. We find out Dane is actually not that bad because he finds out everything, and then he stabs Varish, so that's great. Dane. Whatever, Dane. And then they fly back to Orisha along with some of the other cadets that have chosen to join the revolution. We're in part 2, and they're in Orisha. They travel to the Takaris guy to get a luminary. She fights a Venin. But then he agrees to let them take the luminary, which is involved in raising the ward stones. Still don't understand how that all happens. But he asks all of the flyers to join all of the dragon riders. So there's a lot of conflict there. They all just go back to school?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yep.
I don't understand. They're doing physics, but there is a Venin army about to attack. They do raise the ward stones. It's not a great one, though. Mm-hmm. Not great, so they have to do a better one. Melgrin comes back and says, come help us because we're going to lose this battle. They say, fuck off. But then she's like, wait, actually, there's a whole plan, so we have to go back because they're going to actually, get Basgiath. So then they go back and defend Basgiath. They get the wards back up. Jack Barlow is a Venin and kills his own dragon and then takes the wardstone down there, and then the Venin come and attack, and Xaden is an Intrinsic, and he can sense people's intentions, and all that shit happens. It goes bad. They do raise the wardstone through her mother dying, sacrificing herself. She's going to sacrifice
Via Sloane.
Siphon Signet. And then the worst thing ever happens, and Xaden is a Venin now.
Brooke, that was awesome. Put in some applause. At the end. No, it was good.
Really, really good.
That was great. And then we're going to dig into some of these different aspects.
That was an 800-page book you just summarized in 2 minutes.
Was that really 800 pages?
We didn't think you could do it, but you did it.
Thank you.
I
didn't think I could do it either. I don't feel like...
No, you didn't.
I forgot what happened in that book. I blacked out when you started going.
I wouldn't have been able to do that.
All you have to keep track of is part 1 is Basgiath. Part 2 is Orisha.
Yeah. Really. Nothing really happened in that first part, I feel like. Not a ton.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. But not a ton of actual story stuff happened. It was more of just her pretending to be normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we should say what we thought about it first and then dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts since you read it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading it for the second time. I really like this book, but this time I saw, because a lot of people said it was like pretty slow for them and they didn't feel like a lot was going on, even though a lot is going on. I kind of felt that this time where I was like, oh, like not as much happened in comparison to Fourth Wing until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh my God. So I think I'm like a 4.5 on it.
Yeah.
Because I liked Fourth Wing better, but I still really liked this one. So I'm going to go 4.5 stars.
Wonderful.
Nice.
What say you, Megan?
Okay, I have to go with what you were saying along the lines of not a lot happened, but at the same time, a lot happened. I think it's just because it was so slow. You had to just get through a lot of words to get to the next thing. But I have to say Fourth Wing was better in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm interested how this lines up with Onyx Storm, because now, having read it fully, like, you can see how all the stuff in Fourth Wing connected to Iron Flame. So is Iron Flame gonna connect more to Onyx Storm, or is it be a completely different thing now that Xaden's a villain?
Ooh.
But I don't know. I feel like Violet was a lot different in this one compared to Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
But I don't know in what way. Like, she didn't have like the "ooh, I'm tough, I'm gonna be a writer" mentality. I don't know. Am I wrong?
No. I think in the first one you like really were rooting for her because she was the underdog, and then she was proving herself, and then I feel like, I don't know, I still like her, but it felt almost like she got a little too big for her britches and was like, I need to know everything that's going on at all times. She's still a second year. She hasn't even gone through second year, and she wants to be a part of this huge war, which is understandable. She knows what's actually going on. She wants to be. But, like, I feel like she is like, I'm the most powerful writer. I have the most powerful signet. These are true things, but she also has a lot to learn still. So I felt like it was a lot of her being really frustrated and feeling like she could handle way more, which she probably could have. But also, it was just different. It wasn't like an underdog anymore. She's not an underdog because she's actually above everybody else because she knows everything, maybe.
Yeah.
So it was a little different. I don't know.
Yeah. I think there were aspects of that coming out when she would talk to Xaden. But with everybody else, like, I liked the dynamic she had with Sloane. I think that was a good, like, introduction to somebody else's character development. Because then you saw Sloane at the end kind of flip. But then, I don't know, there was a lot of other things. And then also the whole, you had to follow everything that was going on in all of these different cities, nations, whatever. And then still follow the rules. Like, you had to still remember all the rules from Fourth Wing, a part of the Codex. But then they never, like, reiterated it. You just had to remember. It was a lot.
Yeah. What would you rate it then?
4.
Yeah.
Just because I think it did not need to be this big of a book.
So I feel like I'm in the same boat as you. 4, because of all the information, which is important. So today I went in a deep dive. I haven't had Instagram for like 2 weeks because I didn't want anything to get spoiled for me, and I went on today and just like went at it. And I looked at all these theories and I was like, whoa, these people are so much smarter than me.
Yeah. How they remember all these details.
Exactly. I was literally like, that was a passing statement, and you remembered that from Fourth Wing, and you're connecting it here, and then also making a prediction for Onyx. No.
I do feel like out of all of us, though, you are good at that. Like, you'll say
agree.
stuff sometimes, and I'm like, okay, did I read the same book?
You're good at that too, though.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Not
Definitely
compared to any of these other people. These people are like diving in.
Do y'all work?
Well, I don't.
Because I'd like not to, and to be able to focus on it.
Well, for me, it's either they've read it 8 times.
Good point.
Or they are that smart. And I want to hope it's the 8 times thing and that I would also get it. But I think for me, I think what I end up doing is I might tune out a little bit of the exposition in order to get to the action or like just the characters doing things. But if in her mind, you know, she's talking about all these past wars, all these past places, you get introduced to more people. And you have to remember, oh, there's these ancient kings and the folklore, and I don't know, like, it's so much stuff, and I do think it's all important because I think almost everything she has said has been important.
Yeah.
I had to slow down on her inner dialogue.
Yes.
Because I was like, okay, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
But then I was like, okay,
wait, no, it's
all
important.
of this is important.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, for me personally, I can't deal with all of these details. Basically, I can't process them fast enough to like know the significance of them until it happens. And like later, like to me, if it's like a big exposition, like a big info dump, and then later it comes to fruition, whatever the reason for that info dump was, I'm not even going to remember the info dump because it was so much information. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think it does too, and with like the different timelines, because they're obviously in the present. They're going through a lot in the present. Then you have the past of everything that Violet like learned from her dad that's coming out, where she's like kind of imagining and rethinking of everything. And then they're working for the future because they're in such danger. So you're holding like literally 3 different timelines too. So it's a lot. There's a lot going on. Yeah. But man, it's a wild ride.
No, it's so good. I think, I just wish I could grasp it better. Yeah. I just can't. Yeah. I think.
I will say, as I was reading it the second time, I did pick up on more details. So I think like a reread, if you've got the time, would be great. These books are huge. Yeah. So the first time you're not going to pick up everything. Yeah. But looking at Instagram and stuff, all the stuff that these people are picking up,
dude, it's
kudos
crazy.
To you.
It's like stuff, and they'll say like, I can't even think of one. I did send you guys some today. I don't know. But it's just like the smallest throwaway line. But that's the thing. None of it is throwaway because it's someone, you know, Rebecca sat and wrote it for a reason. Yeah. And so if they say something that you think is like, why did that detail need to be in there? Well, there's probably a reason. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so you said 4?
Probably 4, yeah.
Okay.
I still loved it.
Yeah.
I originally was thinking 5, but then I went back and I was like, I can't even tell you what happened. Yeah. And then I started re-listening, and then I was like, I'm running out of time. So then I went and listened to the Fantasy Fangirls podcast, and they go through like in depth about each chapter. But then I listened to the episode. It's like everything you need to know before Onyx Storm, and that was so helpful. And then I also listened to their the episode about their predictions for Onyx Storm, and it was just really fun. And I was like, they know those books so well. Like it's like they studied and they remember every detail that's ever happened. Like they believe like the sage or the head Venom is one of the 3 brothers or whatever, the 3 kings, the ancient kings, and the one, I don't even remember his name, but it was said in one of those things at the beginning of a chapter.
Yes.
Like the excerpts. Dracarys maybe, something like that. I don't know the guy's name, but then apparently multiple people on Instagram think this too. I'm like,
I saw
dude,
that too.
I could not. So they think it's some ancient king that also helped like establish Navarre. So it's like, wow, this is so too far above my pay grade. Yeah. To know this. But anyways, that was really helpful to hear that. Okay. And that helped me with all the details that I feel like I missed. Still am confused as fuck about the word stone and how they did that. And the imbuing and the luminary. What even was the luminary? They needed it so bad. What it wasn't. It?
I know.
They probably did.
I don't think they did, because if we're all saying we went back, I remember I like Googled like what exactly is a luminary, and I still couldn't tell you, like what is imbuing, what, like all these things. So that was hard to figure out.
Yeah. Well, the imbuing thing, that's the runes thing, right?
Like putting power into something, like you're imbuing it.
Because that was like her dad.
But I think the runes are kind of different because they're like, to me, it was like almost little like magical things. Like But I guess you put power into them.
I'm confused.
It's your
Yeah.
signet.
So like, okay, remember the dagger she had that got them out of that
Yes.
room, and then she finds out that he did that. Is that imbuing?
I would think at
With
least.
runes.
Yes.
Because like, you know, Professor that starts with a D again. We like her, the good one.
Yes.
Deborah.
Yeah. Deborah. She showed them how to, or was it? It wasn't even her. I don't know who it was. Someone showed them how to do it on a piece of wood.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that would be, right?
Yeah, I think in a way.
I think that
yeah.
was imbuing.
See, like this. I want it to not be that confusing. I want to know. If that makes sense. Maybe like more of a show don't tell rather than tell me every single thing that happened with the history of this nation. I don't know. But I don't know how you show that stuff either. And I feel like she did try to show us and I was still confused.
Took a lot of visual effort.
Yeah.
I still understood basically what was going on.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like that luminary. I'm still confused.
Yeah. Tell us in the comments. Explain a luminary
tell
to
us what a luminary is.
How does one take a luminary?
Yeah, well, I thought for the longest time a luminary was a person. The way they were talking about it before I knew it was a thing.
I thought it, like, in my mind, I pictured it as like an orb.
Me
Some
too.
kind of like
Well, yes,
orb.
later then I was like, oh, it's a glowing orb. It's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Yeah. So it illuminates.
Luminary.
It allows you to imbue something, right?
Yeah.
I think that, or maybe
Yeah.
is that the forge? Is that for the forge?
But here's the thing, too. They're all confused as shit, too.
That's a
Because
good point.
Violet is trying to figure out, like, what she learned, how to do it. They're translating things wrong. At first, they thought it was the writers. Then it turns out dragons.
Yeah, true.
Like, they're also trying to figure it out, too. So I feel like we're all in good company there of nobody knows how to save
That's a great point.
from these griffins and Menon.
That's a great point.
Should we talk about Violet and Xaden's relationship?
Zadaddy.
That was one thing for me, and I think you had said it too. Like, she didn't give him a lot of slack, especially after finding out about his second signet.
Which was like the end,
Yeah.
right?
Well, no,
No,
because
that was
they.
the first attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think about that? Because
His signet?
yeah, first off, how he. What is the word they used? An
Intrinsic.
intrinsic. So obviously she is like super upset and is like, all of this is a lie. Like, you've known everything the whole time.
Which is what you praised, Brooke. You praised her for that in the first book.
I did.
For not being like that.
I literally did.
And then this time, she's overreacting, I think.
Well, yeah, okay, so I understand she's frustrated
Yeah.
about being kept in the dark this whole time.
Yeah.
I understand that. That would feel hard, but like the fact that she was like, she kind of took back her I love you for the half
Yeah.
of the book.
Yeah.
Didn't take it back. She just didn't say it.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sure it was mostly to build tension between them again because, you know, that builds tension because then when they finally said it, no, she didn't say it. I forgot. That was a good scene, the shower. But yeah, it was just kind of, that was frustrating. And I guess maybe it would have gotten resolved faster if he would have been at Basgiath, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also think too he was upfront the whole time saying,
was.
I'm always going to have secrets. I'm leading like a freaking rebellion. And she just couldn't accept that.
Yeah.
But she still stuck around.
I had no problem with how Xaden was handling himself.
I know.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
She kept secrets from people too. All of her friends,
Yes.
her mother,
Yeah.
for good reason, but still secrets. Yeah. I liked the part about how she was like, well, I told Imogen, like, about the armor. She was like, what, you know, like, if something came,
The
what did
battle
she
axe.
say? Yeah, like, if a battle axe came out of it, like, I would, what did she say?
I don't remember.
Like, she would, like, question she would always question what is inside of it.
Yes.
And he literally took like a dagger and was like, okay, let's go with this.
He's
Yeah.
like,
and
I can run with this.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
like put it
was
at
the
her
trust
neck.
conversation.
Yes. And he's like, am I going to hurt you?
Yeah.
She's like, no. Okay, there you go.
Amen. Yeah, she really overreacted to
I felt
this
like he
whole
was
thing.
so level-headed with her too. Like he would talk things out more
Yeah.
than I would think like a bad boy would.
Yeah.
Like I felt like
Zadaddy.
the daddy
Daddy.
did all the good things. So that was
agree.
one part where I was like, okay, this is a bit of a character flaw.
It was, because it also didn't just didn't feel like her character in the first book, because she was like, I totally understandable to be pissed about it, but then to be like, I don't think I can trust you as in a relationship feels weird.
Yeah.
Especially with the contrast at the end, because we know he's literally Venom and she's sleeping beside him at the end of the book.
What did you think about that?
Sorry, I know I jumped forward a lot.
No, it's okay. This is like a huge part of it, and it's all leading up to it. So go for it.
Well, I was just shocked. It ended, her chapters completely end with her being like, no, he's Venom.
Yeah.
And it flips to his chapter and she's sleeping beside him. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Did you
I was
know
like,
as
what?
soon as he wouldn't like turn around, like the scene where
No.
he's like looking out? Really?
I mean, I had guessed that might be the thing, but I didn't know if...
Or when he said, like, they were like, what are they waiting for? And he's like, they're waiting for me.
Okay, I was so confused about all that. Yes, he was very sure they were waiting for him, but then he mentions that he's had nightmares.
Yeah.
They both have had nightmares. Also, why is no one talking about their nightmares? I felt like the first book, they did a lot better at communication. Mostly her.
Yeah.
He obviously had secrets on secrets on secrets that we didn't know. But she did so much better with communication. She set up great boundaries with him and was just upfront, I feel like. So this just didn't make sense in this book. But like, they weren't telling each other, like, I have these horrible nightmares, and the sage talks to me and is very convincing, or whatever, is like, you're gonna come to my side. Like, why wouldn't you be talking about that? I don't know. During this huge war, I feel like that would be something you would be talking about. But
Or you'd be so scared you couldn't.
yeah, does he have like connections with the Venom? Like, does he know people that have turned Venom? Like,
Well, that's a whole other
Is
theory.
I
he
know.
Venom to help people somehow? You never know. Or like to defeat them. Or...
I thought he turned Venom because it said because he was saving her or whatever.
Yeah, he had to channel the earth, but that was the only way to save her.
To me, I feel like, I don't know. We don't know enough about Venom other than that they're evil right now. But like, couldn't you
And
be
it's
like,
power.
I have this in my notes. I said, what the F? What form are Venom in?
what do you mean?
It's people, but you can tell they're like overtaken with something from like their eyes and their veins.
Sorry.
So, okay, when they're being attacked by Venom, they're being attacked by other humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Okay.
are that have
Yeah.
turned because they took the power
Yeah.
from the earth.
Right, because that's a big no-no.
That's a no-no, I guess. You could take power from
You
dragons,
can't
not the
channel
earth.
from the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because it's unlimited power, and then there's like checks with the power, and to me it seems like they're almost dying, and
Yeah.
and I wonder if they like get evil, like their soul is gone the more they take, because that's like the checks and balances maybe. So
And Jack said that too.
yeah, they become less human.
Yeah.
Was this in Fourth Wing when was the first time Jack and Violet challenged each other on the mat?
That was near the end. He was already Venom then.
So remember, there's a line that she said she looked in his eyes and there was like a red circle around them.
Yeah, so apparently Rebecca Yarros did in an interview somewhere, like maybe Entertainment Weekly or something. She did some interview, and she said he turned between Threshing and their first challenge, which was pretty close together. See,
She drops little tidbits throughout the book. Like Violet's second signet is somewhere in Iron Flame. She has said.
She said
There's
it's in
all
one
kinds
sentence.
of theories. Yeah. Okay. Back
That's a whole
to
thing. Okay.
hang on.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Back to the Venom.
Well-
Can we just talk really quickly
Yeah.
about one of the theories that's going around?
Yeah.
Okay. So Venom is taking power from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You find out in Iron Flame, Sloane is a siphon and can channel power.
Yeah.
So the question at hand that a lot of people are asking, and I'm really excited to see, and I think this would be really exciting, is can she channel the power from Venom and put it back into the ground or into something else.
Yes, I saw this.
You sent that to me.
Oh, okay. Okay. I do think yes.
I think
Absolutely.
that would be so exciting. How exciting for Liam's sister to have such like a badass role too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. Could it be that obvious? Probably not. But
Probably not. But yeah. Also, there's another one that like you okay, so we find out that and she's training with Felix for her signet power or whatever, and he's trying to show her the little lightning strikes basically. Yeah. He says, "Your signet is pure power." But it manifests as lightning because that's what you're most comfortable with. So does that mean she's going to have all this other like she could also make ice or something. She could also do that like but she's just more comfortable with the lightning. Maybe even cuz her mom is a storm person.
Okay,
What if
we're going sorry, go ahead.
No, well I just meant like she's pure power, so like is it going to be something where she kind of like almost is like in a vampire human relationship where she is the life force for Xaden to like get a little bit of power, like she's gonna be his like battery something like that. Sorry, continue.
No,
you go.
Sorry. So she never brought up the fact that she saw Liam when she was being tortured.
I saw anybody else.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody posted this.
Saw him, touched him,
yeah,
and felt him.
Yeah.
So some people are saying her second signet is talking to the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting information.
Yeah.
But
that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy because if that is true, she could
talk to her dad.
Her dad.
That would be
because nobody believes her dad died from a heart attack.
Also, they've not even said his name.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Did you pick up on that reading?
No, I saw a video about it
because I was like, who is he? Like,
yeah, they didn't say his name.
They never said his name.
Well, I've heard some people say it's one of the names of some of the excerpts written at the very beginning.
Yeah, I thought that was the case.
Well, it doesn't say his name. It never says his name. But it's like it could. I think they said his name was like Cole. Some people think it's Cole Daxton. I don't know which things he's written.
Oh,
like we don't know who that character is. It's just one of the excerpts.
Okay.
One thing else.
Yeah.
Is that in one of her flashbacks, it was in Fourth Wing the night she was going to get killed by all like the unbonded writers. She was having a dream about her dad, and he was saying, remember that whatever story you're reading, it's really important. Like their scribes they're the best firsthand accounts, but it also is really important to remember who is writing it.
Yeah.
That makes me think, is any of this reliable? Because this whole thing is being translated by Justinia Neilwort, which we know Justinia, but like each book starts out and it's been faithfully transcribed by Justinia Neilwort.
Yeah.
Is that some kind of big hint? Like
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think with Justinia, and this is like a huge like out there comment, don't you feel a parallel between Justinia as a scribe, Violet as a writer, and Andarna as a dragon? Like a big parallel between the three of them.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like they're all kind of like the underdogs.
They are.
They all like fight to have their, Justinia's breaking a lot of rules.
Yes. Oh, Megan.
And she's weak.
She's deaf.
And has disabilities.
Yeah.
So does Violet.
She's weak.
And so does Andarna.
Yeah.
Megan.
Damn, Meg.
I came up with that on my own.
Yes, you did.
Ooh.
So I refuse to believe Justinia has any...
I hope not. You know what I heard? Something sad. I sent it to you.
This tore me up. Go for it.
This girl said... I don't remember what podcast it was. It was a podcast, I'm assuming, based on what it looked like. It was a video. And it was like... My theory is at the end of book 5, it's going to be Justinia closing the book and saying, and Liam, that's the story of how your parents, Violet and Xaden, met each other, and that's their story.
Yeah.
And that they had died at the end of the 5th book, and Justinia has raised their son, Liam, who they named after Liam. Hey!
Okay.
Stabbed to the chest. What?
If you notice... maybe. If you
I hope
notice
not.
in the excerpts, it'll say recovered letters from
I
Xaden
know.
to
I don't
Violet.
like recovered.
Yeah.
I don't love the word recovered.
No.
Yep.
Pass.
Okay.
What if they die at the end? I'm
Let's
gonna be
get into it
fucking
about
pissed.
Xaden a little
Okay,
bit.
yeah.
Because
you were
me and you had differing... I don't know about yours, so we're going to give you a chance to share too. Me and you, Brooke, had differing thoughts at the end of Iron Flame.
What?
You clearly were like pissed about Xaden being a Venom.
Yeah.
Totally understandable.
It was just so sad.
It was sad.
Yeah.
And it, like, everything you know, you're like, what is going to happen?
I think, yeah. It
Yeah.
was like, what the hell?
When I read it, I was like, and then I was like, what's going to happen? Like,
Yeah.
super excited. I'm not
Yeah.
excited that he's a Venom, but I'm excited to see what she does with the story. Now, it better not be freaking Dane that she gets with. We will
my
ride at
gosh.
dawn if that is the case. But, I think she's good. They're going to figure this out somehow. And I feel like they will be like Endgame, or somehow she has to write somebody better for her.
I'm like so anti that second.
I'm so anti
No, I
that as
agree.
well.
I agree, but you would think if she's going to do that, she's going to have to do it hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But when you text me, you're like, I'm done. WTF. Pissed.
Well, I think because I assume that automatically means he's just done. He's evil.
Yeah.
His soul is rotten.
I don't
But
think
it's not, because they're sleeping beside each other. He's actively trying to get cured.
Yeah.
I think that counts for something.
Yeah.
And like Violet even considered pulling from the ground.
Yeah.
When she was trying to imbue the stone. So I do think it matters, like, your intentions behind things.
And remember what they've said to her throughout the story. She's a writer, so she's got the fight in her.
Yeah.
But she's also a scribe, and she has all of the knowledge with
Yeah.
that fight. So she's like the biggest threat here. So if anyone can figure this out, I feel
her.
like she can.
Oh yeah, you go.
What did you think?
I was pissed.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, once you're Venom, always Venom, right? It's like being... To me, I'm picturing him, like, turning into a zombie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
how I'm picturing it too.
You have now just entered, like, you're dying.
You just got
phase.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, is he going to attack her? Like, how did he sleep next to her without...
I don't know.
Or is it like a slow...
I don't know. That's
progression of Venom?
I was shocked. I thought, because you had mentioned the eye thing, and I was
Yeah.
like, I wonder if that's what it is. Holy shit. And then I was like, well, he's not doing anything bad, so I don't think he's a Venom. But then he was. So I was like, okay, so you have some control. So maybe a lot of times when someone does turn Venom on purpose, it's because they want the power, not because they're trying to save somebody else. That's why he did it. He did not do it with, like, evil intentions, simply. But like, Segea was like, no, don't do it, or I chose you.
Yeah.
So clearly obviously we know it's not a good thing, but like his intentions were pure. He was literally trying to save her.
But like with
Do
Jack...
Venom stay bonded with the dragon, or is that what we still don't know?
Well, there's theories on this. But yeah, because Jack's a Venom, and he was bonded to Bade until he slit her throat.
That's right.
But sometimes, like, there were points where, I'm not going to say he was good, but he was, like, not acting up completely.
Oh, when
like,
he
when
pretended.
he came back,
Yeah.
like, he was able to control it, at least where people weren't automatically aware that something else was going on with
Okay,
him.
that whole thing, I don't understand. That's one of the many things. Jack,
Yeah, what about it?
With
okay,
Nolan?
he was, like, acting great.
That's what I'm saying.
What? But is that because... Is Nolan going to be key in Xaden's healing? Was he actually mending his soul? He said, I'm
He said he has
mending
an
a soul.
antidote that it's not permanent.
I thought the antidote was the thing they kept giving them.
The drink?
Yeah, the drink to come off from their power and their dragons. I thought that's what that was they were talking about.
No, he's been working on that with it, like Venom with him.
Yes, so my thought is he's mending his soul. So was he in the times when he was like a nice person? Like, he literally saved her life. I'm still so confused why he saved her from being assassinated. And he seemed like genuinely, like, I don't think, why would you pretend? if he's evil, why didn't he let her die? Because I guess because they've said they want her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
But like that, does he have a red ring around his eye? We don't hear that, I don't think, other than on the mat in Fourth Wing.
Okay, you said that the author said that he became venom between threshing
and that on the mats.
Okay. Because don't you think in Fourth Wing he has like, was that in, yeah, Fourth Wing threshing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So I feel like he had, this is another one of my theories, venom mentality already because he wanted to kill Indarna.
Yeah.
And isn't the whole venom like plan of attack to go after the weak ones first? They mention that. There's a line where they say the venom come in waves because it takes out the weak ones.
Oh.
And I feel like he already had the mentality to go after the weak one.
Megan again.
So if it happened right at threshing, because he was so pissed and he wanted to kill Indarn, I don't know. I have
No, that's a great
That's a great point. I don't know.
But that,
Maybe we'll hear more about it because he is still alive at the end.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll find out what actually happened. That's crazy.
I felt like it was helpful. I saw a video, and I think it was Rebecca that said this somewhere, that this series is like a W.
Yes.
Where like the first book ends on a high, second you kind of go down and you're at a low, but then the next one's going to be a high, like to make a W. That to me like gave this book a little bit more of like a purpose and like an okay, where it was like, yeah, it seemed like not a lot got resolved here, but like if she's following that, this next one I think is gonna be
said
great.
it, so unless she's going back on that.
Yeah. And she clearly is highly intelligent and really gifted.
Dude.
Like, just crazy to be able to put all of these details, keep it all straight. She's hiding stuff from us. Very gifted. And this is why all of us are, like, eating this up. And why people are acting crazy over these books.
Yeah. Literally elbowing people in Target to get...
Also,
get
Amazon, book. Where is my book? I have always done the pre-orders on Amazon, where they just come to your home the day of. And where is it? Because it has not even shipped yet.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
I'm ticked.
People, Iron Flame, it happened. I don't understand how you don't have a book ready. You had
one job.
Yeah. Literally.
Now I'm going to have to buy it on my Kindle and wait for my...
Did you get one with, like, sprayed edges?
Hardback sprayed edge copy to get
I
here.
think that might be why. The sprayed
don't
edges...
promise it if you're not going to come through.
No, 1,000%, but they did that with Iron Flame, and I'm like...
Yeah.
Did you not learn your lesson?
And you told me that, and I didn't,
I would have thought they would have definitely figured that out by now.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane. But yes, I'm hoping that, like, Nolan can help him, because Nolan needs a redemption arc, because he freaking drugged her.
Yeah.
Also, that was something that frustrated me with Violet this whole time. Stop drinking the water.
Oh, my gosh.
Could you stop taking water from other people?
Yeah.
Like, and I know
she trusted Nolan.
She did, and he helped them escape during the interrogation thing. He did. He like left the little door open thing.
Well, but what was the scene where she was like, "Wait, guys, this smells and looks like the lemonade that they gave us." That
was in the interrogation.
That was in that same,
because that was the only way that they were able to.
Yeah. So the first time was that the exercise where they had the maps and they had to walk around.
Right.
And they did get separated. And then the second one was interrogation. They get beat up, but they didn't drink. And Nolan helped them escape.
That's right.
And then, but then she drank it. Oh, was that the only other time? I think she encountered it 3 times. And then the 4th time was like when she was really being tortured and she didn't have a choice. But she's encountered it 3 times.
Yeah.
She didn't drink it the 2nd time, but did drink it the 3rd. And she's like, that tastes weird. Nolan really needs to clean out his water can or whatever. I'm like, you fucking dumbass.
I know.
You dumb.
Theme of the night.
No.
Okay.
Dumb. Okay.
We haven't talked about the General Sorengale
Ooh.
bribery favor with Xaden.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, so she basically made a deal with Xaden that she was just going to have a favor of her time and place of choosing or whatever.
Yeah.
And she also cut his back up.
I'm going to lash you, but then I get a favor.
I don't really I didn't understand it.
She was like, the favor I think is void here because she's going to lash him, but then he gets to like
try his
live
luck
for a little bit. Yeah, to try. I don't see where there's room for a favor for her here because she hurt him.
Because they were going to kill him?
But that,
no, yeah, because he and the 107 were saved, and then he owed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she cut him, then
and
he got
also
a chance,
needed to owe her a favor.
But then
now
she gets a favor.
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
No, but anyways, she cashed it in and said if she gets past PARAPET by herself...
PARAPET.
Then he has to keep her alive.
Which, in Fourth Wing, remember, he had her move to his squad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you know why.
I didn't even think of that.
Her.
It wasn't...
He was trying to save her.
Yes. Well, I figured he was just doing that to be smug, but yeah, it was for that. And yeah, just different things. Like he tried to keep her alive and yeah.
Since we're talking about General Sorengale, don't you think they were a little too sad over her death?
No.
I was pissed that they were that upset about it.
I think I was mad at Mira.
Yeah.
But she came in and she wasn't there. I also don't think it would have happened if she would have been there. I think she would have stopped it. I think that would be super traumatic. And she was like, at the end, she clearly loves her kids. Like, she did all this to save her kids.
She did it all the wrong way.
She did it all the wrong ways.
I don't know.
Well,
it was a bit much.
I mean, she literally, like, sacrificed her life and her dragon's life to save everybody. And to save the kids.
I think...
Right?
Even Xaden
she
doesn't
said
understand, like...
stuff, right? Didn't she say some crazy stuff?
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
did.
I'll get to see him again.
Yeah.
And the only
God.
reason she would die would be to save her kids. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll understand that whatever, something like that. I think just a mom sacrifice.
I can see what you're saying.
Yes.
Specifically with Mira and Brennan because they were so, like, anti her throughout it. And then all of a sudden they were, like, flipping out when she was, like, sacrificing herself. Whereas Violet, I think always you could see that even though they had a really bad relationship, she still was like...
She craved her
mom.
Yes.
She would still say mom.
Acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Brennan, I was kind of surprised that he was so upset because he was literally like, hey, I hope you die.
Right.
Literally, like,
Right.
sent her to her death.
Mira
So that
just,
was
like,
kind of crazy.
Left
Yeah.
Yeah.
and was, like, pissed about it.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I just
I
felt
get
like
what
it
you're
was
saying.
a bit...
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like,
See
wait,
both
when
sides.
did we start liking her?
Right then, I think.
Yeah, I guess
I literally think then. I mean, she did, you know, what are some of the things she did? She helped them get out.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're like, okay, she's not a total monster. She's letting people get out. And she flew to go to Mira to say, hey, by the way, there's this other war going on. You can choose and go to Orisha if you want.
Yeah.
So she did. I don't understand why she stayed. I'm still confused. I guess she would
In
not
Navarre?
have. She would never have been welcome in Orisha, even if she wanted to be there.
No.
So never mind.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
all the everybody hated her.
Yeah. So I'm confused about her. I hope we kind of learn more about her, but maybe I also don't care very much.
Or maybe Xaden can say more if he ever, like, read her intentions.
Yes.
Like, she always intended this, but...
That's another thing. He's an intrinsic.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about that, did we?
But if they had their walls up or whatever, he couldn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Which, then, like, so many people know how to do that.
You know what will be interesting is if she's dead and you find out that Violet's dad is not dead and she was like, well, I guess I get to go see him anyway.
Oh.
But, like, what if he's not dead?
I don't think he's
Rough.
dead.
I don't think they've
people
given
think
us
he's a Venom. I don't think
I
he's
don't.
a Venom.
Okay, hot take.
Yeah.
I don't like Brennan.
I've heard this.
There are some.
Wait.
I think everybody has like a little bit where you're like, like, did you feel that way too?
No, but I heard the theory about nailing
Go for it.
Taryn's old writer right
Yep.
before. So the story that, you know, clearly Nailin and Brennan were involved.
Yeah.
We think that they were involved, and Nailin sacrificed everything. Quote, gave up everything. No one says he died.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
I
gave
saw
up
that.
everything to save Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody thinks he's Venom. I 1000% agree with that. He's Venom for sure. But I think, and because Brennan also has those runes on him,
Yep.
which is something that the wyverns have on them, which is like a resurrection thing. So like,
And why wouldn't have Taryn died if he died as writer?
well, yes, and I think you can unbond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like Taryn unbonded because when she's brought him up before, when Violet's brought him up before, Taryn's like, we're not talking about him.
Yeah.
So it could have been like, I'm turning my back on you.
Weren't those sentences, like those times in present tense, like they never referred to him as like past
Yes.
tense?
Yes. Brennan was like, he is a good man.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about this? So Brennan, Varish,
Yeah.
and Jack's dragons are all orange.
The orange dagger tail things.
Mm.
Yeah. They're the same ones.
Yeah.
Marb in Gaelic is death,
Yep.
which could be something.
Yeah.
They're all, it's interesting to hear
They're
what
all
those all
evil.
mean. All
Yeah.
their names. It's actually fascinating. And it's like, is this, it has to be on purpose.
Yeah. Did you feel though, like when you're
Oh.
reading it, did you feel a little bit of like a distrust with Brennan?
No, you're fine. I didn't really, but I didn't feel like we got enough of him to like, for me to make a judgment. But
Yeah.
across the board, I think no one trusts him.
Yeah.
So-
But I also feel like how could you, no matter what cause, let your little sisters like think you were dead?
I guess, what is his choice?
I don't know.
How would
the
he-
start of Iron Flame, right, was him
Yeah.
eating biscuits.
Yeah. Biscuits.
Biscuits. And you're like, oh, like we get to learn about Brennan now. He's
Yeah.
alive. Because Mira and Violet would always talk so highly of him in Fourth Wing. But then the more, like each scene he was in, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not there. Like, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Like, he never
Okay.
gave me a reason to like him.
I agree. Other than that, he's their brother. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it was really exciting he was alive. I wanted to like him way more, but I just felt like he was like pretty bland character.
There's no way he's Venom, right?
And it doesn't feel like Xaden likes him very much either.
No, they argue. Yeah.
Ooh. He disappeared for 6 years and he's a healer. What if he turned Venom and then, like, healed himself through his signet? I don't know. That's way off.
You never know.
You never know.
I just don't like him. Something's off.
I think you're right. I mean, everybody, it sounds like people are like, I don't trust him. Red flags everywhere.
We gotta go read this book.
I know.
There's also, like, Xaden has this whole other signet of, like, knowing people's intentions.
Yeah.
What are Brennan's intentions? Like, how does he
Well,
keep
he
all
might
of
have
this
his
hidden?
his shields up and stuff. I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know. Okay. Speaking of signets, what do we think Violet's second signet is? Because there's a lot of theories about that one.
I think talking to the dead or something with her dreams.
Oh.
Some people think gravity.
Gravity, because it's been everywhere, but I just
Yeah.
like, because gravity shifts.
I saw an interesting one that said, where somebody said, Violet, I know who and what you are. And people are thinking maybe her dad, like, somehow
Is it God?
no, but like with his blood and then like dragon blood, and then Taryn refers to Andarna as the golden one and Violet as silver one. So some people are like, is she like part dragon,
dragon
like
shifter.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so there's many theories, and the big thing of it is her dad's research into feather tails. Mm-hmm. So, okay, we know that he was doing all this stuff into research into feather tails. He was writing a book about feather tails when he died.
He got killed, for it.
Yeah. We also know that when Violet was in her, when Lilith was pregnant with her, she had some kind of sickness.
Yeah.
But they cured her.
Yeah.
What if she was turning venin or something? Mm-hmm. That's a theory that she was turning venin, and the feather tail blood is the cure for venin. So, one of two things then, I've heard, she's either part venin or she's part dragon.
Mm-hmm. Which seems like a stretch, but it also doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah, because her hair is silver, and there's at least one venin with full silver hair. Mm-hmm. So that was another part. Or she's part dragon, where she's part feather tail because she's like shifting colors. Her eyes are never the same color or whatever. Her hair shifts color. Her skin is like, whatever. And then also like all of her bones maybe being out of place. Is that something like with shifting?
Yeah.
She could shift because her
a
bones fall out of place all the time. Mm-hmm. So, but then there was an interview, I don't know where, but Rebecca was saying that Violet will have to come to terms with her second signet. It will be something she has to come to terms with, and like in a not positive way. Ooh. So what if she's part venin? And how does that work? I mean, she would also probably have to come to terms with being part dragon.
We need to end this so I can just
read
it.
Dude.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's crazy.
Wow.
There's also another theory about second signets and the children of the rebellion. So, it seems so far, okay, the reason for this is because Liam in Fourth Wing, we know he has foresight, but then randomly during the fight in Fourth Wing, it says Liam is wielding daggers of ice.
Yeah.
He does not have ice powers that we know of. And so they think that everybody with a rebel tattoo has two signets. Also, Imogen, she has the thing to do the wipe your mind. Yep. But then, when they're first sparring, the very first time when she like dislocates her arm or breaks her arm or whatever, she says she's like using her powers. Someone's like, you can't use your powers because she's moving so fast. And then later, Imogen says, I'm really fast. Is that something? Is that her second signet? We know Xaden has two signets. We know Sloane has... Oh, no. She doesn't have two signets.
She's just siphon.
Yeah. Never mind. But still. But the thing about Liam...
We don't know a lot about her yet.
Yeah. The thing about Liam, literally we see him wielding... It's in a sentence. Not even a full sentence. He's wielding daggers of ice, which he doesn't... That's not his power that we know of. So, yeah. That's the theory.
So you're saying Violet could be a daughter of the rebellion?
No, she has two dragons. Okay. She gets two signets because I think she has of the two.
Sorry,
dragons.
I thought you were going there.
No, it was just in a second. My mind went the second way about signets.
Yes,
it's an interesting theory.
But also, signets are drawn from who you are at your core.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to come to terms with it, even though that's probably something she is at her core.
Well, if she's a dragon,
that'd be tough. A tough
but
pill
I don't
to
know.
Swallow.
The venin thing, she's not that at her core. Yeah. That wouldn't be a signet. That would just be her, how she is, who she is.
One, yeah.
But the who and what you are thing is, and the golden one, crazy. Silver one thing is, I feel like that's a big deal.
Yeah,
and
I can't wait to see it.
I know. Also, Andarna being the 7th type of dragon or whatever.
Saw that a mile away.
You did.
Yes. Every time she saw her feathers, they were a different color.
Oh, well, that. I knew she was, like, clearly some kind of camouflage something. Right. I didn't know about there only being 6 types of dragon. Like, I didn't know, like, the significance of this. When she figured it out, I was like, where did the 7th thing come in? Was this something we knew the whole time?
No.
No?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
The 7th thing came in when she read the other journal.
Yeah.
When Justinia translated it.
Yes.
And said, he was wrong.
And
the only difference is that there's 7, not 6.
Yeah. What I'm confused about is, did Andarna know this the whole time? She knows she's who she is. Did she not know she could do this?
I don't know.
Like, why would they not help? Or did they need Violet to do it or something? I was kind of confused about that. Also, that was another hint for her being part dragon. She talked to Coda or whatever his name is. And they don't talk to each other. Dragons do not, or you do not talk to a bonded dragon. At the very end, I was confused about that. She was like, "Will you help me?"
Yeah.
The train needs to go away. She said, like, and Xaden was like, "Don't talk, like, do you have a death wish? Don't talk to him," or something. And he bowed his head at her.
She's a dragon.
Well, and it's something about, like, she commands the sky. All right, is there 2 dragons? I mean, train.
There are 2 dragons.
Yeah, so she talks to dragons. She's silver one. Her bones are all over the place. I think she's part dragon.
I could
Dragon
see it.
shifter.
Do you think we'll find out in Onyx Storm?
We better go find out.
Onyx Storm's like the size of Fourth Wing.
That's good.
Yeah, it's smaller.
Yeah. Or she's a truth sayer. That was one thing. I know you want to leave. That was one thing.
I didn't
Okay.
say that.
No, okay. The throne scene. First of all,
Oh, we didn't even
10
talk
chili
about
peppers. Whew, I loved that so much. But when they're at the very end, she hears his thoughts. He's not talking to her. She is experiencing what he's experiencing and hearing his thoughts.
Yeah.
Is she a type of intrinsic that can fully somehow go into someone's mind?
She also looks through someone's eyes.
She looks through Tyron's eyes and Darna's eyes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But don't they kind of they just say that. And
They
I'm
just
like,
say
wait,
that.
I didn't know she could do this.
Yeah,
Maybe she's just all around magic.
maybe.
Maybe she is part god.
Maybe.
Great dude. Or
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many things she could be. The things people were saying that she might be a truth sayer is because when she talks about Xaden and she's like, okay, whatever your second signet is, when she's trying to figure it out, whatever your second signet is, it has to be something you need, and you need to know information. You need to know everything. She says that earlier, and she says, I'm someone who needs to know all the information. So you would think it would be something like intrinsic or something like that too. You know?
maybe that's a good point, because if she has to come to terms with, oh no, what did she say she had to come to terms
Her second signet.
Because you'd get killed.
That too. That could be a negative.
I think it'll be something different, though, than Xaden.
Well, he's a type of it.
He only knows the intentions of people if they've already thought that.
Yeah. And then people were like saying, well, and she's the best of her year in shields, so that maybe she hasn't been hearing people talking. But I'm like, I don't know. Because, like, I don't know. I was kind of confused because then also he's like, I shouldn't have done that during that throne scene. I shouldn't have done that. What should you not have done? Thrown your mind into her mind or something? I don't know. I was confused about that. I'm excited to find out.
I am too. It'll be fun to go like read through it and then like listen to this episode again and be like, how wrong were we?
How were we 1,000% wrong on all accounts?
Everybody dies. No. We can only go up if it's a W.
Just this one, and then the next one,
take
and then
us
the
down
last
again.
one.
And again, we know what she's capable of.
Exactly. I think that's more of why I was so upset with him being Venom, because I was like, well, his character's gone. I'm glad I invested $2 into this guy for him to hit the bricks. I do think they're endgame, though. I don't think she's going to find someone else. I think they're going to fight through, like you said. He says so many times, we are endgame. It's you and me. Yeah. If you go, I go.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Or they're both going.
I feel like she's going to kill him off at the end. I bet she will.
What?
Yeah.
At the end of the 5th book, I bet she will. Just the wording
Violet
around
will
everything.
kill him?
They're both going to die.
Like Rebecca will kill them.
Sorry, yeah.
The author.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. I could see it.
Yeah.
I hope not, but I bet.
This is going to be hard to have to wait until all the other books are out, too. Like, we're always just going to get these little tidbits. And
I
then
know.
be like, and this is why people are crazy over it.
It
because
is.
they've been waiting. They're really good books.
Mm-hmm.
And we all want to know what the heck is happening.
Oh my gosh. So bad.
Speaking of Endgame.
Speaking of
this is
Endgame.
End Podcast.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Goodreads. Like and subscribe, 5 stars, comment below, all the things.
Give us your theories in
Yes.
the box.
We want to
Comment box.
Yeah, we want to hear what your thoughts are. We'll be busy reading Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days, but
Yeah.
we will get back to you.
When does the Onyx Storm episode come out?
Great question.
You better start reading.
Yeah,
Okay.
whenever we finish reading and yeah, we have to go. All right. See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.